ahead in this hallowed hall, in this all-important game, makes it that much more special.
Absolute cinema as we go into our first set. Heist and Kaboom Canyon will be the map. A good one for me. I feel like it's a good spot to start with Heist. I don't want to see it in the later stages of this kind of map pool because those base races can be unpredictable. For me, Lola's definitely up there as Crazy Raccoon special. Colette, despite for me not being quite in the meta, it's one of their good picks also. Humble, like the Melody, that's why it's banned on the side of Crazy Raccoon, alongside the Angelo and the Cordelius. The Finks, the Chuck, and the Kaze banned out by Humble.
Kaboom Canyon will kick us off for our grand final. It's a map where those two teams will clash in the middle. It's all about mid-control, controlling those pushes. And wherever there's pushes, there's an Ember, there's a Lola, there's a couple of tanks, and some more brawlers to just deal damage like Crow or Penny, Carl, and Crow it is for the Raccoons.
The interaction here between Juju and Amber is something that's worth keeping an eye on. Juju has a range increase inside bushes and so it can actually attack the safe from the middle of the map. If she pops up, one of these teams will have to draft an Amber or something that also has that grass clearing ability to limit Juju's impact as the round goes longer and longer. But you know, if you're into Juju, you need to play the longer game. You're going to be disadvantaged, but if you take control of the middle of the map, Juju does not have a staging ground to play from. Grass or no grass.
This is what I was about to say with Amber still open. I feel like Humble are already putting preventive measures of that very brawler in place. Nowhere to hide. And it also depletes the Crow slightly on the side of Crazy Raccoon. It takes a little bit away of what amount of information you'll be able to obtain with it. The second pick coming in for Crazy Raccoon now. They do like a little bit of Penny in Heist. It did work out well for them earlier in this competition. A very different map. Kaboom Canyon is all about the long-ranged game, in my opinion. Let's see how they're feeling about this Crow. It's going to be Lola. I think it's a very underrated pick on this map. Always got some good results. They're still going to go with the Juju. Certainly with the lakes in this map, it is still going to get some value, but I feel against the Amber, you're really kind of like battling against the wind, no?
I did mention the Lola coming into this draft, but Lola against the Amber, usually not the favorable matchup, but they do have a Crow. Crow with a slightly, I think it's one tile more range than Ember. Usually not a bad shout, can just trickle her down. The poison will take her in the long run. And against the Byron, Crow will do well anyway. Last pick now from Humble. It's going to be an aggressive one. Lily to round things off here. Humble versus Crazy Raccoon. We're heading into our first map.
SK Gaming gave Crazy Raccoon plenty of practice against the Lily, but now it is time. The time for talking is over. It's time for the gameplay to tell the story. Humble Giants versus the Little Genius and his merry band. Crazy Raccoon and Humble renew their rivalry one last time on the biggest stage there is. Make some noise, Stockholm. It's brawl time.
The stadium erupting. Semantic already making a dash there with the Lily going into the realm. Immediately finds Milk Rio. Finds the upper hand as well. The heals from Luki weren't enough. He falls down, pushing more and Tensai then into the mid.
Tensai would love to step up, and now with Boss out of the way, that seems an easier achievement. Milkray has returned to the fray, and now the barrage commences. Just chip damage, nothing to write home about, but it gives Crazy Raccoon a lead, and it starts to apply a little bit of pressure to Crazy Raccoon.
Boss will lick the map there with the oil, looking for that burn to deplete what the Juju can bring. Some damage onto the Crazy Raccoon stage, just the 4%. As a jump in from Milk Rio on the right, it brings back some goods. He's in a good spot. Semantic is now in a tough position to choose. He goes then for Moya, gets the upper hand, and has been going straight towards the TR stage.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to all in here. Crazy Raccoon have a slim lead, but it's nothing that can't be remediated by Semantic. He, though, will stay in the corner. Generate super by proximity here to Milkray and Tensai, but he will be punished by the thrower. Boss still holds court in the center of the map and has cleared some of the grass, but not enough to limit Tensai's capacity. And a hypercharged super there from Milkray. Well timed. Safe down to 47.
Milkray got amazing value, but Semantic finds a two-piece. Boss coming from behind here. Burns the grass just a little bit, gets it onto the safe most importantly, as Humble are behind in terms of the objective. Semantic into the realm, going to be coming out, made a few early swipes there, maybe a couple of signs of nerves coming through as Tensai stays alive at 403 DPS.
Gregory is doing some serious lifting right now. Tensai's made so much space off that super. Milkrio, of course, with a damage reduction shield, is able to stave off Semantic, and Humble have been stuffed into a corner. Now, very, very far behind in this round.
Luki can't find the taps on the right-hand side onto Milkrio. Moya surviving there with the ego, as Semantic struggling to make a dent through this mid, but does find Tensai into the realm. Milkrio and Moya ready for it. He goes for Moya, who's now under hypercharge, but now all three members of Humble take this mid. What a super from Semantic! He finds the safe after two. There's a crack.
There's safe damage important, but that elimination even more so. Boss now with a hypercharge, can't quite make full use of it. Moya's going to burn down, and Gregory with some acupuncture on the safe. Going to make short work of Humble if they're not careful. Tensai will dodge, duck, dip, dive, dodge away from the boss damage, and he'll have one last shot on the safe. That's all she wrote, folks. Crazy Raccoon, with 50% left on their safe, walk away with our first round.
A slow start for Humble, but I feel if they can get this cross burnt earlier on, deprive the Juju of those valuable shots onto the safe early on, it could be the difference maker. Luki has got a good brawler in his arsenal, but I feel like with this Byron, the taps just aren't landing as much as they need to. Semantic into the realm, going to come straight out onto Moya, gets the taps again. Heal falls with the heals come through. Semantic cycling, wonderful work between himself and Luki.
Good gadget there from Tensai, but not enough to keep him alive in the long run. And Luki was there to back Semantic up. Some good free damage here for Humble, but the moment they take the foot off the gas, the Juju just sets up in mid yet again. Not to mention when Gregory comes forth, it's going to be difficult for Semantic to get purchase. Important that Luki wins that side lane matchup, but isn't great attacking a safe on his own.
Semantic missing a super is a rarity. Luki putting some scrutiny into Tensai. The Moya on his right-hand side is really struggling. Semantic is targeting him every single time. He's got a hypercharge now as well. He's going to use it on the safe for the additional damage. Still there as the shots to the Juju can't really find the connection. Oh, the hypercharge will connect, but nonetheless, he's staying alive on the safe, getting fundamental damage.
Yeah, Semantic didn't want to pop into the shadow round too early. He just wanted to save that damage for the safe. He attempts to bank the hypercharge off the wall, but it misses. It doesn't matter. Damage is damage, and Humble have that in spades. Moya's going to be forced to back away now, and Semantic is always looking for this Lola, but he's not quite close enough to get both those hits, and so Moya walks away.
Boss will lick the map up yet again. Milkrio, despite the shield, will fall down. Moya on 149 HP, but a lovely TP with the ego. He stays alive in a good position, cycles it as well. And they actually get the pick up of Semantic as a result of it.
Semantic got completely stifled there. Tried to come forward on the Lola, but Moya had other plans. 50 seconds left in the round, and Humble have a healthy lead, but they need to get out of their side of the map. Tensai a little bit low. The bush cover's getting pretty limited, and Semantic finally is able to bring down the Lola. Diving in goes Milkrio, shield active, boss falls, and Luki's stuffed into a corner. Gregory alone is enough to count for the Byron, and Luki needs help stat.
He couldn't juggle his time between Milkrio and the Gregory. Had to make a choice. Semantic will fall there as well, and I think wasted a hypercharge in the process. Important taps there from Luki on the right-hand side. Gets a good gadget on to Tensai, but he's still alive. Boss on the left-hand side is weak and weary. He needs some help.
Humble need a safe crack here to be truly comfortable in this round. Milkrio's going to find some poke damage now on Humble's safe. It's down to 73. Luki's got to be wary, got to crawl away. Tensai shots are coming in, even his game up. 5 seconds left, and Humble have a slim lead, but can they maintain it? 61 and counting. It looks like they've made it, but only just. Our first set hangs in the balance. Humble breathe a sigh of relief to get away with that one.
Saved by 2%. Reminds me of the match earlier today between Humble and Revenant. That first set came down to a second. They breathe a sigh of relief, but this set is far from over. Semantic just beelining this right-hand side. Runs straight into Moya. And he goes down himself with the help of Milkrio. Boss there, still in the middle. We'll know now where he is. And Scott the Super, most importantly, burn that map down and make sure that you cannot get early value.
Boss here doing well to avoid these shots from Tensai, who's not really living his best life, being unable to play in the bushes for the time being. Still pressuring back this Amber. Semantic dives, looking for Moya on his emergence. Will find the Lola and get the better of her as well. Now for some damage. Semantic, these forays forward have been good for 6 to 20% of that safe health.
Boss doing a lot of work in this early moment. But it is just a narrow lead so far for Humble. Semantic looking to go again on the aggressive. He is so dangerous, but now Moya has the ego. Used again a gadget for the additional healing. There will be something of a helping hand, but I think Semantic now looking again for Moya. Staying a little bit sneaky, but found out now, and now Milkrio can land the taps he needs.
Semantic was tracking the shield gadget from Milkrio there, knew that he actually didn't want to fight the Crow when he popped down the Shadow Realm. So Milkrio's free there to take a trade. It's him for Luki. Semantic back off respawn, but Tenstai's in a position to get some free damage. This game hangs in the balance. 4% separate these two, and Boss and Luki need to get active to regain control of mid.
Yeah, Boss chose to go on the aggressive with his super early on rather than spurn the bush. That Choo gets some free damage. Boss on 52 HP, helping hand there from Luki, keeps him alive.
What heal?
Moya's gonna burn. Semantic in the realm, Milkrio comes out on top, and Humble now will reclaim this mid.
Insane moment there from Luki. Boss, by all accounts, should have been dead to rights there, but the Byron healing kept him standing enough to win out the exchange, and now Humble are on the front foot once more. Hypercharged Super explodes, a little bit of damage onto the safe, but more importantly, Milkrio's scout is taken. Tenstai to step forward. Luki needs to dodge these shots, and he'll be happy with a 1-for-1. Everything coming up Humble now. 25 seconds left in a round. A safe crack finally achieved, but Semantic needs to double back and defend.
Milkrio finds Boss on the right-hand side and is on the stiff, getting damaged. Now his teammates join that mid. Tenstai now for hypercharge. A massive burn from Boss to respond against it. 75%, the safe is cracked. They already need one more shot.
They're going to get there.
And that's going to be the one to seal it, surely. Crazy Raccoon will take the first set. Humble are immediately behind.
No matter how fast Humble run, Crazy Raccoon is always coming up in that rear view mirror, a monkey that cannot shake off their back. A ghost that haunts them every time they try and reach for the title. This time, in this match, they start off on the front foot. No need to reverse sweep Humble this time around. Crazy Raccoon emerged victorious on Heist.
I think for me, the difference maker really was the Juju of Tenstai. You can see there the damage to the safe. It made all the difference. 86,000, 17 takedowns for Moya as well. I think that all things considered, he had the toughest match. I mean, Semantic was targeting him time and time again, so to get those kind of stats, it's really, really impressive.
Yep, definitely not the kind of player who's ever going to tell you to calm down. Milkrio really embracing the energy up here. And this game balances on a knife edge for so much of Heist. If Semantic's able to break through 1, 2 more times, it could be a very different result. Moya there, that is a stunning TP back. It baits out Semantic's super and then allows him to fall back and clean up the Lily. This final push is a hypercharged Lily super. A Giga Grigri on the map gives Crazy Raccoon all they need to overwhelm.
And in the game in which Humble won, they really shut down that Juju better. I love the way that they broke open the bush to start things off, and it just deflated a lot of that aggression. Wasn't the same in that one in which they lost, and they've now suffered the set as a result. Moving on though to our next map and mode, Brawl Ball and Pinhole Punt. Humble, we need to dig deep. No sweep for them in this grand finals as it was in 2024 versus this very opposition of Crazy Raccoon.
This is Crazy Raccoon's best map arc. Really solid performance from these guys in scrims. They really love to lean towards, you know, those solid comps. They go rough Otis, first couple picks, and then they mix in some sort of powerful mid-range brawler. Chester has actually been their go-to on many other occasions, but it really depends what's been left open through this draft phase. On this map, Byron has an exceptional win rate. He wins 3 out of 4 games in scrims in the lead up to this tournament. But obviously you've got the mainstays, Crow, Otis, and Ruffs, all brawlers that you want to look towards. Get them in, and get your value out of them.
Big one for Humble as well as Mo. They love to combine that with Jae-Yong. Let's see, the Hank Ban, the Byron, and the Sweep for Crazy Raccoon, the Otis, the Meeple, and the Mina for Humble. It's going to leave a potential Ollie open. That's definitely a cause of concern. Let's see how they feel. I quite like your Chester shout, by the way. I think that is definitely an option for both of these two teams. Certainly more on the Crazy Raccoon side, but also on the Humble side against our pal. At least we didn't get just credits on that one.
Yes, sir. We've got a bit to work with. That's all right. Yeah, the Chester-Ruffs combo actually has been really quite dynamic on this map. I think Chester's hypercharge, while hard to earn, is just one of the most powerful nukes available to you in Brawl Stars, and can really give you that player advantage in a pinch when you need it. Milkrio's Sphinx is astonishing. We saw that earlier in that series against SK. You see him pick up the Sphinx, expecting to play pretty safe, you know, pretty secure mid. It's anything but. He commands attention, he charges the field. In fact, he ends up making his kit the gem carrier, and he just goes and starts throwing haymakers. So this guy is not one to stay quiet.
Ruffs, Mo, Crow, Carl, these are all brawlers that could potentially have a showing here. That's going to be one of them coming through for Humble. The Buster as well is an option, but with the Ollie open, I prefer that. Coco gets a skin, that's a pretty good one as well. Nope, he's not a fan.
Okay. Yeah, is it there? Aussie Buster. I'll show you a knife. These are my favorites here.
We can enjoy ourselves on the desk for Humble. They are very much locked in that regard. It's going to be the Ruffs. I think it's a good pairing. The Crows going to be much more viable with the help of those supply drops. They are lacking some DPS. Concerning thing so far. That third and final pick needs to be a solid one. It could well be that Mo. As it's not the most desirable of things. It's good to leave it until the end, really.
It's it's a very common boss pickup, right? It's also often finds its way into reply totems, drafts. A lot of EMEA teams have really been leaning on that. It's not the kind of map where you can like throw a curveball. Like Ali can be brought in here. Pinhole Punt obviously has bushes dotted around the center concentrically. So there are opportunities here just to sort of leap upon your opponents. Something maybe a bit safer. Jae-Yong here comes out. Not the best map for him, although he's very commonly picked on Pinhole Punt. Only a 35% win rate out of 20 scrim games. The Draco, okay. This one's a little bit wild for me. I love to see this. Shove up, get space. Can really make use of that Finks super. Crazy Raccoon want that map control, that flexibility.
Now I'm nervous because Humble, again, haven't got the best DPS so far. They need a direct counter for this Draco, in my opinion.
Countering Draco? You're going to play BB?
It's going to be very, very tough. They might have to deviate away from the plan here, honestly. Mo, want to be a bad shout. Okay. Chester, yeah, going to come through. It's not a bad shout. Lukey is very, very accomplished with this brawler. This Crazy Raccoon draft, I really do quite like it. It's got a great amount of variety. Humble could be in trouble here.
They don't have anything to stop this Draco, really, at all. That's my biggest concern. Milkray also is going to be able to be, Tensai rather, topped up, and healed, of course, by that Jae-Yong. Humble's comp is fine. I think Chester really gets going. We see some big supers. This could certainly be a game that Humble take away. It's going to be Semantic on Chester duty. Here goes our second set of this grand final. It's time for Pinhole Punt. Brawl Ball is our arena. And Humble are trailing a set.
Tensai low, the left-hand side. Nice gadget, back to the fixture. Will keep him in the mix on 664 HP. Boss still trying to find these connecting shots. There's one onto Milkray that will be very valuable. As Lukey stays firm here, the defense booster gadget should be enough, and a great break just in the nick of time. A 26-second goal for Humble.
I don't know what Moya is doing. He's trying to zone one of these Humble players out of the back of the map. I think it's Semantic. He's just sort of standing there in the bush, making half of the Chester to get in, but the rest of Humble's team comp does really well against Crazy Raccoon. Without the Draco, you just don't have enough damage. Here's the dive, not a bad one, and of course the hypercharge sees the knives pierce and return. So it does at least enable a one-for-one exchange. Now that Fink Super drop down will allow Moya to safely move into the middle of the map, but man, he's getting peppered down instantly.
This is much better from Humble. I love that from Boss. A great tap and it's brought his team forwards. Now Lukey picks up the supply drop. That will make him much more dangerous. Milkray on the left, struggling a little bit. Moya trying to push through this mid. He's certainly going to get scrutinized for it. Semantic gets a lovely stun. Now it's Milkray in a 1 versus 3. Weekend Warrior gets some value, but Lukey stays alive potentially for the pass-through.
Humble and map control. They have plenty of damage. Our concerns from draft have been alleviated. Gadget here now from Ruff that's going to, again, clear the area around the ball. Allow for Lukey to heal himself back up. He came up second best of the couple of salvos from Milkrio's Jae-Yong on the left. Of course, pop for Milkrio, a burst of speed and attempting to throw out some damage, but here we go. Hypercharge Super comes on in. Semantic can make good use of that. Moya also licking his wounds after that supply drop connected, and Lukey is still alive, still standing. Here come Humble. Semantic's heard his hypercharge, but doesn't need to use it. Clean as a whistle there in that first game of Brawl Ball.
Seems like Humble have had a very good mental reset. And this Ruff's hypercharge, in the hands of a Chester. It's arguably in the top 5 for me of the strongest hypercharges in the game. Draco's up there, no doubt about it, but it takes a while to earn it. Now, a different story. TR have a much better start now. Pushing him back, Semantic will fall on that right-hand side, leaving just Lukey and Boss to defend. Lukey gets the ball, puts it to the side here, but Tensai will bring it straight back forwards.
Yeah, Lukey gives up his life just to make sure Semantic can still be relevant defending this push. And you see how good that Rush gadget is. Buys it so much time. Luki's able to get into the game. Humble are back to full strength now. And this Draco Super, without hypercharge empowerment, is pretty short range. He's going to go for it though. Going to throw himself at those goals. Boss optionally opens up the map and simply has to walk away. He knows he's cooked.
Yeah, no choice. You can't really feed over more to your opposition. He knows there's nothing that he can do there. Has to come forward. We are still continuing this assault. Hypercharge drop down from Boss will get rid of all those boxes. A really nice position for him. Humble have got time on their side so they can defend this. And down goes Moya. That's a great opportunity for them to recollect, get Tensai as well. It's trickling down from this poison.
And slowly the map is starting to be opened up by these supply drops that Boss is throwing in. This favors Humble. They've got a better comp against this Draco if they can keep him at arm's length. Moya constantly ticking down, and this is not the optimal. Oh, wait! Okay, the poison ticking got him. That could have been dangerous. Last stand gave him a chance to stand and have a crack at goal. Humble will move into reinforce.
Really enjoying the pinch between Boss and Luki. Working together so harmoniously. But down goes Semantic immediately. This Draco is dangerous. These kills from the Jae Young are keeping Moya so much more in the mix. Boss shuts it down now, finally. Luki can't really close this gap. He's got to heal up first. Milkreal with the speed, trying to get Tensai into a position where he can make something of this ball. The time warp as well allows for a much easier juking scenario on this left-hand side. But again, still protected by Semantic, who's nice and healthy.
Okay, Moya's going to charge his way through. Nobody can stop this Draco. He is unstoppable. And a cheeky stop through from Moya evens up Brawl Ball.
A great response. Humble have got to tread very cautiously now. It's a must-win game, in my opinion. You're against the clock in the grand finals. You need to even the scoreline. If Crazy Raccoon get this set, it's going to put a lot of pressure on this next draft.
Moya again, not able to get to grips with Boss before he's taken down. There's a whole map for Boss to break open all over again. That's something that just takes time. The poke damage is good though. Finks out of the game, neutralized very early. Moya now with a super. No chance to even make use of the gadget. Now hypercharge on the horizon for Boss.
Semantic's in a fantastic spot here. He's got the slow as well. That radius now going to be working to his advantage. Nice steps into Moya. Semantic in a great spot, but Milkreal is still healthy. Tensai healing up now. Milkreal is going to be there to helping hand this defense. Luki has to jump. He can time it well. Get them when they're down. Milkreal falls here as well. Semantic stays alive. The hypercharge of that Chester. It's going to be brutal, but he gets fallen down to Tensai.
Still, Humble were in a decent position, so it's just a loss of tempo for them, nothing more. Remember that Chester hypercharge can blow up some of this map. And Luki's taking care of it as well. Moya a little bit low. Thinking about the gadget, but no reason to make use of it there. Ball now in Humble's court. That's the hypercharge super from Semantic. Gives Tensai nowhere to go. Go between a rock and a poisonous place as Luki finishes him with the knives.
Luki saves his super displays in the hypercharge. An interesting decision. I actually don't mind it. Moya is still so dangerous on this Draco. The last stand there will keep him alive just for a little bit of time. Tensai can't really do much here on his own. Peppered by Boss and Luki. Tensai also. Poison trickle over time down to 386 HP. As now Humble prepare a push.
They're being so methodical about this. Humble, so careful. As soon as Milkreal pops a weekend warrior, Luki jumps away to safety instead. Now though he's going to have to pop his shield. He needs to stand and fight. He doesn't last long, I'll tell you that much. Boss also not long for this world. Semantic, does he have the damage to stop this? What a clear, but it's not going to buy him enough time. Milkreal drops the ball, and Luki is back on deck. Tensai, frustrated, will go down, and Humble are back in the game.
Unreal from Humble. They've got to turn that defense into a valiant offense. Luki has got the hypercharge, and if he can time this right, get maximum value, the weekend warrior of Milkreal might see his demise. He jumps away. He now has to earn it back. Tensai falls so quickly. Humble has got to hold on. I feel like with this comp, they do have the advantage in overtime.
Yeah, they want this overtime. They've been trying to break the map up all game, and now it's going to happen for them. Boss with a hypercharge super. Everybody with one in their hands on Humble's side, but here comes Moya. He is burning them to the ground. Outranged though by Luki as he is. Humble need to fight. Ball cleared, crossed to the right. Semantic with the invulnerability is going to be able to get it out of the way, but this is not enough. Not remotely enough from Humble. Crazy Raccoon face beckons them to the podium. And they'll take their second step.
Despite being 2 sets down, the crowd are still cheering loud. But Humble have got to start getting this communication better. That should have been a set going their way, especially when you look at those stats. Boss, 470 DPS on a Ruffs. Luku, 14 takedowns. I mean, these stats really do say that Humble faltered and fumbled that one. Crazy Raccoon really depended on that Draco. Moya is cutting his worth.
What we don't see there are the healing stats as well of this Jaehyung keeping this Draco in the game. Crow's always a good shout against the Draco. The poison ticks after the last stand gadget expires, normally earning you that elimination, even if you make it a trade. Slowly and surely, Crazy Raccoon spent most of this game without map control, but it's moments like this when that Draco hypercharge can be brought to bear that Humble are simply bowled over.
Nice, you get it.
But now Humble have to dig deep. They want to become back-to-back world champions. It's going to take every single bit of their brawl knowledge to come forwards here. Kanan's got to bring a winning draft now. There is no excuse for it. Humble, I'm sure, would not be able to imagine anything worse than getting swept after being the ones to sweep last year. Karma is an evil mistress.
At the start of this tournament, Semantic said to me, we're not really sure how we play from behind. We haven't had to worry about that. Well, Beckery, you got your wish. Humble have their backs to the wall. The chasm waits behind them. Crazy Raccoon are winding up for one final haymaker to knock them out of the tournament, to take the title of world champions. It's going to have to be bounty where Humble make their last stand, drag themselves back into this game. Ahead of the hideout.
Tensai is 1 set away from becoming a 3-time world champion. I mean, it's just unheard of. In not just Brawl, but like any game. I mean, his career has been outstanding. But for Crazy Raccoon, this set stands between them and that. The bans are in for hideout. Stray, Jean, and Mina. The Bell, the Ruffs, and the Jaehyung of Humble. And Humble have the first pick.
Bell seems like a pretty innocuous pick, but on hideout she is a real problem with those nest eggs being set up. She's very powerful defensively. Humble have always leaned towards the Byron to start these drafts. This game will be no exception. It's the Heretics hat that gave it away, sorry.
Oh, it's Crazy Raccoon now then. People could be an option for them here. Let's see if they want to pick it up. Gus is, again, a very East Asian brawler pick to go with here. Brock potentially just open up the safety nanny. Yeah, I like it. It's a bit underrated. But it brings some good to Gus to come in as well.
This is such a Humble-coded draft from Crazy Raccoon. Semantic loves to go for that last pick nanny when he feels like there are going to be sharpshooters on the menu. Now Humble might actually have to change course in terms of their game plan. You can obviously try and stay in the sharpshooter lane. Brock's obviously available. Bray's banned out, so forget about that. RT somehow is still unpicked, which Crazy Raccoon is kind of absurd. I had to double take there. But perhaps you need to run it up on these guys. Perhaps you need to go on the offense. Charlie is going to be the pick here for Boss, and Ollie comes out. Humble will not sit back, play long range, and go silently into that night. They're going to bring the Ollie in, signaling a desire to go all in.
You're absolutely spot on, though. Crazy Raccoon have read this draft like a book. This is a Humble draft for them. They're taking away what Humble are most comfortable with and putting them in a position of weakness straight off the bat. Humble are going to have to play differently. They cannot just do what they love to do now. Meeple, yep, it's going to come in for Crazy Raccoon.
So good here.
It's going to be so tough to play against this.
There's no wall break for Humble. I mean, Tensai can play up inside those bushes. And that Meeple Super is going to be really frustrating, allowing him to cut the range and have a legitimately unfair scenario against Humble. It's now or never, Humble. Semantic at the helm. This team came together on a whim last year and nobody expected anything from them. Now, they expect the world. They expect excellence. They expect a world champion Well, Crazy Raccoon are having none of it. Tensai gets a blue star, but it's going to be punished with a hypnotize off the back. What a stun, though. That is brutal. Luki could be able to drag himself away, but Humble it down by 1 star after that exchange.
Oh, an overextension there from Boss also on the left-hand side, and Tensai will pick it up. Luki now with the blue star. The Crazy Raccoon have the lead by 3. Semantic just lurking in their bush, waiting for someone from CR to overextend, but they're going to have to push forwards even more here. He's earned the super as well now. It's going to come in quite handy, but Milky will have the knockback too, and there it is.
Not enough.
Spread against the wall and pushed forwards.
Where's the damage?
Luki gets the cocoon off as well, and the blue star now with Humble. 7-star lead.
Semantic's going to be able to get away after that as well. The cocoon from Luki was instrumental. They needed a lot of time to actually eliminate Milcrio through that shield. These Spiderlings, by the way, are actually very good. From all 3 brawlers, they're going to ask for a shot, and Semantic is going for it. This guy is unhinged. Solo runs down Tensai. Says, what's a 2-time to a king? Beautiful stuff. Milcrio the next to fall, and Humble are looking like they're back.
Love that from Luki and Semantic there. Ensuring that pickup is right at the cusp of the Charlie range.
Are they going to get to 20?
I mean, at the moment the CR are playing, it's so passive. And Semantic just keeps going in. Now he might be a bit overextending.
Too much.
Gonna pull down now. 8 stars to 14. Humble have got to be cautious here. They've got all stars above their head. 9 to my count.
Semantic's more. Semantic's hand got forced there by the Meeple Super. Had to go forward. Knew he would get just peppered with shots from behind that wall. But now he's got a hypercharge. That's a guaranteed connection off that super. Well and truly, in we go. Semantic looking for a double hypnotize. He hits it. Jackpot for Semantic. And Milcrio back to the wall. 1 star away. Humble get to 20. A definitive answer. As they are moments away from elimination, they find a spark.
A fantastic adaptation. The question now is, how will Crazy Raccoon approach this game? I love how Humble did that. It's again not the strategy which I'm sure they were looking to implement. So they're adapting on the fly. Again, Bots overextending that left-hand side. Tensai going to be low, but no one there to contest him. And already, Moyes got the peak.
Semantic's healthy enough here to tank this, as is Luki. Pete might be intended for the Byron. Boss has to pop that gadget to stay alive. Great footwork though, dodging from Moya. This guy with the mechanics taking space. As Moya is going to be forced back. No respect offered by Boss, but Luki might have flown too close to the sun.
Yeah, tough there for Boss. Couldn't really have reacted much faster, but may have wanted to preempt it. Semantic does find the hypnosis connection onto Moya. He'll fall. It's going to be a trade out though. CR are still in the lead with 3 stars and the blue, and another peep coming in.
I'm looking at Captain Semantic to be the difference maker now. Coming off spawn with that super available. Can simply look to try and fight Tensai, but he needs a 3-star player. Would have to go after Milcrio and more. Even if Milcrio goes down, Crazy Raccoon will still have the blue star lead. This is quite the conundrum for Humble.
Boss is really doing his best with these kills, trying to push forward. It's quite difficult into that nanny pick. Now low again, got to be forced out to use a gadget. Peep coming in, he can't break on this left-hand side. Samantha going forwards though, Milcrio is low. They'll find him. The blue star still with Crazy Raccoon now. Micah is out, the cocoon goes down immediately. Humble have got the lead. A massive hill from Boss. Straight back to spawn.
And the mid looks so easy. Semantic simply wanders up in the direction of Crazy Raccoon and does the thing. Great cocoon from Luki. Now Tensai tries to get forward, looking for an opening, but that Meeple Super gets used pretty deep on the map but can't be effective here. Here we go, once more, Semantic steps up. He needs that healing from Boss, and it's not enough to keep him alive. Humble might have thrown this away. Tensai trying to get a little bit of space, but Crazy Raccoon have a 2-star lead, and there's no way for Humble to regain it. Teetering on the edge, again are Humble. It's Crazy Raccoon stamp their authority on the round.
What a rage quit gadget there from the Meeple. Semantic was not ready for it. That should have been a set, I feel, for Humble, and they might end up kicking themselves for it. CR now. Just need one more game. And Tensai will be a 3-time world champion.
There's echoes of 2021 for 2022. From Tensai in the spotlight with the trophy in hand. To return to that spot, I'm sure, means the world to the little genius. Now Crazy Raccoon just have to close this case. Humble, though, stand in their way and had a very decisive first round here on Hideout. They can't afford to take any undue risks. Semantic, though, still needs to be the aggressor. Still has to come forward. Oh, that damage coming the way of Moy is going to force him back.
Yeah, Semantic has to go on the aggressive, but it's a really tough balance to find. He's depending upon these Byron heals, and again, this Meatball gadget, which is devastating. Good taps, again, from Tensai. He's earned the super, and now Humble can't use that wall. Just the blue star for now. Luki again taking a lot of shots
Dangerous.
here. Kooky Popper as well, replying in chord. Boss still needs to heal up. Semantic might be able to time this and get something back to spawn, but it's such a tight position for Humble to play from.
It's the Meeple gadget that Semantic has to look out for. Tensai can knock him back and prevent him from getting close enough to find a big hypnotize. This is not a hypercharged super from the Ollie. Semantic has to be picture perfect in these next few moments. Humble need to fight their way back into the map, but right now they are being boxed in. The trash compactor begins to crush. Return to sender on the boss, doesn't bother him. Moy is starting to tick low. That's the opening for Humble. Now they can get that map control they've been sorely needing.
The one run step, and Humble are done for. They can't overextend now. They're just going to buy down the clock and hope for the best. Ensure a kill towards the end. As we approach the 15-second mark, CR are going to push.
It can't be over here. It just can't. Humble now to stand and fight for the right to continue to compete for the World Championship. 9 seconds left. Milk Rio starting to pinch on the right-hand side. He pops his super. Tensai looking at Semantic. He's